Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will speak in Arabic, so if you would like to use the headsets in front of you. I've been trying to convince Richard to learn Arabic for a few years now, so hopefully me speaking Arabic will encourage him. أصحاب السمو المعالي
Excellencies, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Riyadh. Peace be upon you all, and may you all have a very good morning. I'd like to welcome you in Riyadh in the New Africa Summit that is held on the side of the 8th edition of the Future Investment Initiative. The relationship between the Kingdom and Africa is not only governed by the geographical location, we are partners with a joint history and a joint future. The origins of trade with the African continent dates back to ancient eras. Our shared history goes beyond economic ties. We have different commonalities in our cultures, geographies, and common denominator factors between our or among our peoples. This includes enhancing mutual understanding and solid ties between and among our societies. There is no doubt that this is a long-term relationship based on mutual understanding and joint interests and achieving prosperity for our nations and our peoples. We believe in Saudi Arabia that the role of Africa is pivotal for us in terms of facing the world challenges. The Kingdom was one of the first countries that requested that the G20 gives permanent membership for the African Union and also called for establishing a chair for Africa in the executive body of the World Bank in order to enhance the presence of Africa in the global realm, believing that diversity of opinions will create better international policies and that the voice of Africa should be present in all of the international important discussions. Dear attendees, KSA partnership with Africa is not only strong, it is also growing rapidly. The recent Saudi Africa Summit that was held last year marked a new chapter and phase for this partnership, and it will be a launching point for its progress and its growth. Allow me here to speak about some of the most important things that the Kingdom started to implement. Some of the initiatives, for example, more than $1 billion dedicated from the Council of the Holy Mosques philanthropic initiative in Africa. Second, $5 billion from the PIF for diversity of economic projects in Africa in the coming 10 years, and it already started. Third, dedicating $10 billion from the Saudi Importing and Exporting Bank for delivering financing products in the coming 10 years. And since the launch of the conference last year, the amount that was endorsed until now that was approved is more than $1.5 billion. The fourth, the commitment of our developmental groups in the Arab Developmental Organization in order to be delivered to Africa until 2030. Fifth, in the digital realm, we announced the Digital Impact Initiative to enhance our cooperation between Saudi Arabia and Africa in the digital field, and the grounding work started. Sixth, in addition to what was already mentioned, it is expected that the private sector investments will reach $25 billion in Africa in the coming 10 years. Currently, Since the summit until now, in less than a year, we are working on a worth of $5 billion of these investments. We started the implementation of these initiatives, and we will continue working on them in order to enhance the economic ties between the Kingdom and Africa. The Kingdom's effort towards Africa go beyond what we are doing here in Saudi Arabia. Dear attendees, one of the most important challenges that face a lot of the African countries is the sustainability of the debts. And this urges global serious cooperation and urgent one in order to help these countries deal with their sovereignty debts. All praise to Allah, we have taken great steps regarding the debts through the initiative regarding the debts and the common framework of the G20 that was launched when Kingdom of Saudi Arabia chaired the G20 summit, and it directly impacted a lot of countries like Chad, Zambia, Ghana, and Ethiopia. Saudi Arabia believes in the importance of these efforts, and thus we are committed to continue exerting them. And as the head of the International Committee for the Financial and Monetary Group, IMFC, and the World Bank Group and the G20 Group, we aim at developing solutions for handling debts of the African countries, especially the countries that has less income. We do not only focus on urgent and temporary solutions, but we are working on providing a permanent framework that enhances economic flexibility and financial stability for these countries. In addition to that, the Kingdom works closely with the International Monetary and Regional Monetary Organization in order to support the African continent through contributing to these organizations and funds under them, like the Credit Fund for Development and for limiting poverty for the IMF and the International Organization for Development, IDA, under the World Bank Group. The Kingdom is keen on providing more resources for the International Development Organization that is expected to play a lot of efforts in next of September this year. And with our meetings with the World Bank in Washington, we committed to enhance the contribution of more than $120 billion for the World Bank, and we urge the international community to deliver more support for this initiative. This initiative and this organization is very important because it's the largest easy financing, facilitated financing organizations for low-income countries. About 70% of their income is for supporting African countries. In conclusion, we meet here today in this era that has a lot of opportunities with a lot of eminent potentials for everyone. I invite you to invest in this summit as a platform for cooperation and exchange of ideas for a brighter future for all of us. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, thank you so